Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe, Smokin Joe's Pet Barbecue. On today's video, we're going to be catering some pulled pork. Stay tuned. You can see, look at this bark. It's crazy. Oh man, this is perfect. It helps to start with a nice sharp knife, okay? Oh my goodness. Look at that. All right, so let's get started on this cook. I'm going to be putting these on my Yoder Frontiersman at midnight, okay? So they're gonna be smoking for about 10 hours. I've got 10 pork shoulders. They're all about 9 pounds, but I wanna give you guys an idea. If I had 100 pounds, I'm just gonna round this up. If I had 100 pounds of pork shoulder, this is gonna render out, I'm gonna lose probably about 40 pounds in weight, okay? So I'm gonna have about 60 pounds left. So in this catering, I'm gonna make some pulled pork sandwiches, and I'm gonna go by maybe half a pound per sandwich. So in reality, if I have 60 pounds of pork left, I can make 120 sandwiches at half a pound apiece. So I've got to cater 100 pulled pork sandwiches, and I'm going to create different boxes. In that box, I'm going to have a pulled pork sandwich, I'm going to have a bag of chips, some beans in a container, some barbecue sauce, along with some onions and pickles for the folks to eat. So again, I've got 10 pork shoulders. I'm going to go over the process of what I do to trim. And it's really simple. You guys will not believe how simple it is. In fact, this butcher did me a favor. This right here is the bacon, what I call the bacon of the pork shoulder, okay? And I just want to remove the majority of this fat up here, the fat cap, and not too much of the bacon. If I lose a little bit, that's fine, okay? But you want to just remove the fat cap because pork shoulders have a ton of fat in them already. And you will not dry out a pork shoulder, okay? I mean, you can smoke it for 20 hours, but we're not gonna be doing that, okay? So you just wanna remove the majority of this fat cap and just kind of glide your knife on the top of the shoulder to remove the majority of this fat. I am wearing a cut glove, so you guys are probably wondering, why is he cutting towards his hand? I'm gonna try to be extra careful and not cut myself, obviously. Okay, so just a real simple trim. Just remove most of the fat cap. Now under this bacon right here, you do have another layer of fat, but I don't trim that off. That's just gonna add more moisture to our shoulder. Okay, we're not gonna inject. We're not gonna do any of that stuff. Okay, so again, the majority of the fat cap is gone, but I did leave the bacon. And the reason I do that is because you're gonna rub this pork shoulder down, and you know, if I leave the fat cap on, all people do is take the fat cap off, and you lose all of that seasoning, all that smoke flavor, and I don't want to do that. Okay, just take a look at the shoulder, see if I need to trim anything else. On this side, yeah, I'm gonna remove some of this fat here. Again, this will render down, believe it or not, because it's gonna smoke with the fat, actually this part on the bottom. But since they're gonna smoke for 10 hours, a lot of this fat will render off, but I like to remove the bigger pockets of fat, if you will. Just clean it up. And my knife is dull. Should have sharpened it. Let's check this one out. Oh yeah, this is much better. Okay, that's about it. So I got maybe half a pound of fat taken off the shoulder. Now remember, I got 10 of these, okay? Actually, there's another little spot here that I'm gonna take off, right above that money muscle. There we go. And this is your money muscle right here, which is a good looking money muscle. Okay. So the rubbing process. I am using some mustard. I swear that was a bottle. This bottle has jokes. All right. So just rub it down with mustard. Get the top and the bottom. Get all the sides, just a little bit. And the reason I do this is to make sure that the rub adheres to the pork. You can use olive oil, but just a little bit of mustard works perfect. Okay? Now the rub that I'm using for these 10 shoulders is just an SPG. I'm gonna go over the ingredients. It's 3 cups of coarse black pepper, 1 cup of kosher salt, half a cup of paprika, and half a cup of granulated garlic. Okay? Mix it very well, and I make these in large batches because I use this a ton. So this is more of a Texas style pulled pork that I'm making. Now I will not be adding any sauce to the pork once it's completely cooked. In fact, I don't like that. I know that there's some people that do that. They'll add like a barbecue sauce to their pulled pork or a vinegar, and I will not do this, not for this. Okay, that's why I'm putting the sauce on the side, just in case people want to add some barbecue sauce to their pork. But in Texas, we like our pulled pork dry and full of flavor. Okay, so just like that, add enough of the rub. Again, this is just SPG. And I'll show you what I do. Once we shred it, I am going to add some rub, and I'll show you that process once we get to that. So essentially, this is it. Okay, real simple. I'm going to finish rubbing this pork shoulder down, trim the other 9 pork shoulders. We'll see you guys outside. Stay tuned. All right, so I've got all 10 pork shoulders trimmed and seasoned up. I've got them on these big aluminum pans. These are going to sit here for about an hour. Let the pork get nice and happy with all the seasonings and stuff. Meanwhile, I'm going to go outside and start my smoker. Now, I still haven't mentioned why I'm doing this. You guys know that I have cooked for the fire department 2 weeks ago here in El Paso. The police department last week cooked a bunch of ribs for them. And my neighbors and I, again, we raised some more money. So these pork sandwiches, these pulled pork sandwiches, are gonna go to our local Walmart grocery store. Now, they've got 47 employees, okay? And I mentioned earlier that I'm gonna make 100 boxes, 100 different meals. And the 47 obviously are going to Walmart. And then the other 53 are gonna go to the local neighbors. In my neighborhood, we got some nurses and doctors and police officers and firemen and military. So whatever's left over, the 53 some odd sandwiches, I'm gonna give to the first responders in my neighborhood. And this will probably be the final cook that I do. And again, I'm doing this to help the first responders, those in the medical field, police officers, firefighters. And then the local Walmart, you know, they've been under a lot of stress here recently with what's going on. And I gotta tell you, I work retail, and you know, for people to come in and empty out your shelves, and then you got to put it all back up the very next morning if things show up and people are taking it off the shelves as fast as you can put it up. It's a lot of work, and you know, we wanted to again just thank our local Walmart for what they do. And you know, I want to challenge you guys that have the ability to do this, to do something for your first responders, nurses, doctors, firemen, police officers, just in appreciation, especially with what's going on. Again, I think they're really gonna appreciate a good meal. So I'm gonna go outside, start my smoker. In about an hour, we're gonna put these shoulders on. Stay tuned. All right, so it is midnight, and I've got 4 pork shoulders on the left door. Then I've got 2 right below it, and then 2 on the top rack on the right side, on the far left, and then right there on the bottom. I gotta tell you, this is a giant smoker. I mean, these are 10 full-size pork shoulders, and my grill is probably 30% filled, maybe 40. So you can imagine how many pork shoulders. I mean, you can fit 2 more here, another 4 here, another 4 there, another 4 there. So you could fit a bunch of pork shoulders on the smoker. So again, it is midnight. These are gonna be smoking at 225, between 225 and 250. I'm gonna let them go for probably 5 hours before even looking at them. So we'll see you guys at 5 in the morning. Stay tuned. All right, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I was gonna show you guys at 5 o'clock what they look like, but the color just wasn't there yet. So look at that. When we talk Texas bark, that's exactly what we're talking about right there. I mean, that is beautiful. I have been spritzing every hour and 15-20 minutes when I wake up, and drop a new spoon of wood in there. And I've been spritzing a lot. Okay, this is apple cider vinegar and water. Mixed it 50-50. Just make sure that you spritz enough, and you will get this nice bark. Okay, spritzing is part of your bark building because the smoke will stick to a moist surface. Let's go ahead and get an internal temperature. All right, I'm at 171. So technically the pork is cooked. It's cooked at 145, but we're making pulled pork. So in order to do that, you're gonna have to wrap it. No, you don't have to wrap it, but it might take another 4 hours, okay? Wrapping in foil is gonna speed up the process. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap them in foil, probably 2 more hours, and I'll see you guys inside. Stay tuned. All right, so the pork shoulders are ready, and the total cook time was 9 hours, and they have been resting for about an hour and a half in my Cambro. So let's see how we did. Haven't opened the foil at all. My mic sounds different. Sorry, my other microphone died, so I've got my other backup mic on. Oh man, the bone just hopped out. Take this one out. All right, so first things first is let's grab the bones off. And look at that, the meat just flew off of there by itself. Grab this one. Look at that. So that's that good Texas style pulled pork. Now one thing that I like to do is I'm gonna shred it. Now I've got some cotton gloves. These are the cut gloves that I use anytime that I'm trimming meats. So any heavy pieces of fat that I see, I will take them out, okay? I don't like my pulled pork to have any big fat pieces in there. A little bit is okay, but see, like this stuff, I take it out. Just toss it in the trash. I don't like to eat that, and I'm sure my customers don't want to eat that either. Okay, so I'm gonna clean up this fat, and I'll bring you guys back. Stay tuned. All right, so I've got most of the fat cleaned up of the pulled pork, and the next step is to add some rub. This is the all-purpose barbecue rub from Victory Lane Barbecue, and I just like to add a little bit, just to add a little bit more flavor. Just kind of eyeball it, just like that, and then give it a good mix. Okay, and if I see like a big piece of bark like this, not that anybody would mind eating this because this is delicious, but just shred it a little bit, okay? And yes, this is hot. I can feel it through my cotton gloves, but it's not too terrible. Again, I don't like to add any vinegar or barbecue sauce to my pulled pork because again, we're making sandwiches, and if you add that stuff, you can't prepare the lunch boxes, if you will, because the bread's gonna get soggy on you. All right, I'll bring you guys back and show you how to prepare these pulled pork sandwiches. Stay tuned. All right, so these are the containers that I like to put my pulled pork sandwiches in. I do put a sticker on the box as well. So let's open this up. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna put in here. So I've got a little bit of beans. These are my barbecue beans in a little container. I've got some pickles and onions. A little container of barbecue sauce, okay? Then I've got utensils that I like to stuff right here on the edge. As far as a sandwich, just get yourself a regular hamburger bun and put enough of the pulled pork in there. Again, I'm guessing maybe half a pound to a third of a pound. Okay, just like that. Make it a nice big sandwich, okay? Put the lid on it, put it inside the box. And again, if you put sauce on it, that bun's gonna get soggy, so I don't like to put sauce. That's why I put it on the side. Then a bag of chips. And she's ready to go. Stay tuned. All right, so now I've got 1 box down. I've got 99 boxes to go. I'm doing this about 40 minutes before I've got to turn in this lunch to the Walmart employees. So that gives me enough time. You see how quick this goes together. Once you have your pulled pork ready to go, all it takes is grab the bun, put the pulled pork on there, and put the other items in, the onions, the barbecue sauce, and the beans, which we already have packaged up. So it's a real fast process. If I was to sell these, I would probably sell these at $8 per box. Now, depending on the side, okay, this is only getting beans on the side, but if I had to make some potato salad or macaroni salad, then that's gonna drive the price up a little bit more. But $8 for a box like this, it's a bargain for pulled pork that's smoked for 9 hours. I hope you guys like this video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Joe, Smokin Joe Spit Barbecue. See ya.